When we talk about the authority of the information that we're using in our research, we're looking at the source of that information. We need to look closely at who's producing this content. When I talk about an author or creator, it's important to realize that sometimes that can be a single person or even an organization. Something we should always consider is the author's credentials or their organizational affiliations that they have. What gives the author or creator the credentials or qualifications to speak or present on a particular topic? Do they have contact information or an email address? Also, consider the URL, because sometimes there can be revealing information in that. For example, a .com URL can be seen as a commercial site, while a .edu is educational, a .gov is US government, and similarly, a .org is a nonprofit organization. While we have been talking about there being an overwhelming amount of information on the internet, it is extremely important to think about the authority of the creators of that information. One of my favorite cartoons is this one. It was drawn by Peter Steiner and published in The New Yorker on July 5, 1993. It depicts two dogs, one of which is sitting behind a computer screen stating, "On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog." While this cartoon can have many meanings, to me it symbolizes the need to really evaluate the information that you're finding online. While we might only have an anonymous post or username, we can use the tools provided to us in many online platforms to at least start to build a better picture about the creators of this content. For example, when I was looking for information about my digital camera, I conducted my simple search, what digital camera should I buy? Let's again look at the article that I found on PCMag.com. If I'm considering the authority of the creator of this article, on many websites I can click the author's name, which will bring me to their profile page. We can see that Jim Fisher is the lead analyst for cameras at PCMag. We can also see some of the author's credentials in their bio. I can see that he studied at RRPI, which I can look up, and I can also see that he worked on the commercial side of digital cameras with B&H, which is just a retail company for digital cameras. We also have access to his Twitter page, so I can see if he's keeping up to date on current global camera trends by retweeting content. In this case, I can see that he's pretty active on Twitter and does retweet photography content once in a while. This doesn't immediately translate into being an authoritative source, but it certainly gives us some additional tools to judge his authority. On many websites, clicking on the author's name also gives me access to additional articles written by the author. You can see on PCMag.com, Jim Fisher is publishing pretty frequently, and if I want, I can go look at his publishing history. These are all very helpful tools that I can use to start to build a profile on Jim Fisher's authority on the topic of digital cameras. Similarly, if I were to use YouTube to do additional research, that platform also offers some tools that I can use to start building authority for the various videos that I look at. The first thing I typically look at is the total number of views and total number of channel subscribers. Although total subscribers and views don't always translate to a perfect measure of authority, it certainly helps me start to build a case for authority. Similarly, I like to look at the thumbs up and thumbs down of that particular video and how many they have received. Again, this isn't always the greatest measure of authority, but when all added together, I feel more confident watching a video with a good thumbs up to thumbs down ratio. Just like I did with my PC Mag example, I'm able to click on the content creator's name and see additional information about their channel. When I get to the channel page, I often look at the About page. In some cases, the channel will provide additional information about the creator and provide some information that will help me to evaluate their authority. Here we can see River Shepherd is a director and cinematographer who works on commercial ads, films, fashion, and music videos. I can also see additional information such as when they joined YouTube and the total number of views for all their videos. I also like to review the videos produced by this content creator, and I look for regularly updated content. In this example, we can see that the content creator is putting out a couple of videos per week, and they're often receiving quite a number of views. Let's look at another example. This is Tech Gear Talk. Again, I go to the About page and see that he doesn't provide his real name. So when I'm initially trying to judge this creator's authority, I have to dig a little bit deeper. I can see that this channel was started in 2010 and has about 26.5 million views. If I look at the other videos he's created, I can see that they are producing a lot of videos. However, these videos aren't just about cameras, they also include computers and other tech as well. They're produced pretty regularly and receive a relatively high number of views. I can Google the channel and I can start to explore their website as well, even though the information is not on their About page. When I watch reviews from photographers, I often like to look at their current gear because it allows me to get a sense of their expertise. Now, if I look at my second example, as a gamer it can be tricky to evaluate authority too. If I look at my search that I used earlier and go to the article I found, I'll show you some of the ways that I evaluate authority in this setting. As we can see, the author of this article is using a pseudonym or a screen name. This is a fictitious name, especially one used by an author. In the world of gaming, this isn't uncommon and in some ways can actually add to the author's authority, especially if they're well known for their screen name or a particular game that they play. We can see in this example, I have a bit of information. I can see what class they play, the specialization, which patch it's for, and the guide rating. By clicking on the author's name, I can see a lot more details about this person, even if they are using a pseudonym. Although they haven't created a public description, I can see when they joined and when they last visited the site. This site also includes an achievement system, which many gamers will probably recognize. Hovering over the achievements, we can see how this author interacts with the site. Similarly, this site uses a reputation system, which rewards people who are active on the website. I can also see all the comments made by this particular author on the various discussions that are happening on the site, and all of their previously authored guides. One of the ways that I really like to evaluate authority of a source online is to visit the comments section of various articles that I read. Oftentimes, readers will either agree or sometimes criticize an author's work. On this site, the author is clearly identified in the comments section and responds to what the people are commenting on their guide. If you are familiar with academic research, this strongly resembles the idea behind peer review. This is a term that you'll hear often in your academic career and is the process of subjecting an author's scholarly work, research, or ideas to scrutiny of others who are experts in the same field. Peer review is intended to improve the quality of research that are deemed suitable for publication. And if we look here, we can see that the author is responding to the various criticisms provided by other users of the site. So now that I've had a chance to show you how I evaluate authority in the information communities and information needs that I have, I want you to reflect back on your own information community or information need. How do you evaluate authority in those spaces? Are there tools that your community uses to help you evaluate the authority of the information that you're consuming? When you're looking for information, are these things that you have considered in the past, or is it something you might consider in the future? Please use the discussion board space to consider those questions and share your own experience with authority within your information community or information need.